Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Ito po yung press conference ng House Prosecution Panel pagkatapos po ng paglalahad ni Ms. Gina Acosta ngayon pong araw na ito. Ang nakikita po natin sa harapan po natin ngayon pong araw na ito ay yung pong representasyon ng 125 million na inilabas sa Land Bank ng December 2022. Ito po yung pera na ibinigay ng Land Bank kay Ms. Acosta at binigay po ni Ms. Acosta kay Mr. La Chica under the instruction of the Vice President, under the instruction of Vice President Sara Duterte. Mahalaga po itong representation po na ito para makita po ng taong bayan na hindi po barya-barya ang inilabas noon pong araw na ito, kundi ganito karami, ganito kalaki yung pong perang pinag-uusapan na hanggang sa araw po na ito, hindi po natin nalaman kung saan po napunta. At sa darating pong mga araw, yan po yung dagdag pong mga detalye. Nahihingin po natin kay Ms. Acosta at sa iba pa hong mga sangkot dito po sa maling paggamit ng confidential funds. Sa dami po ng pera, yung pong mga kasama ho natin dito, si Congressman Benny Abante at si Attorney Jay Tolosa ay hindi na ho makita sa atin pong press conference. No? So, para ho we can proceed with the press conference, and I think you had seen enough, no, of how big the funds actually are. Pwede na ho natin tanggalin para po makapagsimula.
Habang tinatanggal po muna natin yung mga kahon para makapagsimula na po tayo sa ating mga katanungan. Ihanda na natin yung ating mga katanungan. Alam ko, napakarami yung katanungan ngayon. Andan po ang ating mga miyembro ng panel natin. Ready to ask to...
We can ask the other members of the panel for the press conference for their opening statements first. Dahil alam po ninyo, marami ho talagang mga tanong na hindi po nasasagot hanggang sa araw po na ito. Attorney Jay?
Hello, good afternoon again. Thank you for joining us today. So, naging maliwanag kanina, no, na kumpirma yung sinabi ng mga land bank managers na una nating narinig, no, ng mga testigo, na itong bulto-bulto ng pera na to, no, ay tinanggap nitong Special Disbursement Officer na si Ginang Acosta. No? Maalala din natin na sinabi din ng nakaraan nating testigo, si Ms. Zailin Del Campo, no, na sinabi niya dun sa mga naging pagdinig dun sa House of Representatives, inamin ni Ginang Acosta na si Vice Presidente mismo nag-utos sa kanya na itong pera na ito, itong confidential funds na ito, ay ilipat niya, ibigay niya kay Colonel La Chica. So narinig natin ulit yung napaka-importanting pag-amin na yun mula mismo sa testigo na to, mula kay SDO Gina Acosta. So wala nang question kung totoo ba na binigay niya itong pera na to kay La Chica, at wala na ding question na kung bakit niya ito binigay kay Colonel La Chica. Narinig natin mismo kanina, sinabi niya, binigay yon dahil sa utos ng Vice Presidente. Sinabi din, kung hindi ito inutos ni Vice Presidente sa kanya, hindi niya ito gagawin. Sabi niya, kaya siya nagtiwala kay Colonel La Chica dahil yon ang utos ng Vice Presidente. At maliwanag din kanina, nung binasa dun sa joint circular, na ang responsibilidad na humawak at mag-disburse ng confidential funds ay ito ay nakapaukol lamang sa isang SDO, at inamin din niya, hindi SDO si Colonel La Chica dahil siya lamang ang SDO para sa Office of the Vice President. So, hindi pa tayo tapos magpresenta ng ebidensya. But sa amin, sundan ho natin itong kwento na to, itong storya, makikita natin yung complete picture dito, no, sa usapin ng confidential funds. So nakita na natin na lumabas yung pera, itong bulto-bultong pera, no, nagkaroon ng representation kanina, inamin niya, sobrang dami, umabot yan ng 4 na bags, no. Pagkatapos, binigay kay Colonel Chica na kahit hindi niya responsibility na mag-disburse, no, nitong pera na to, binigay pa rin niya dahil sa kautusan ng Vice Presidente. So, sa ngayon, yan muna ho. But again, sundan natin yung mga susunod pa na maririnig natin kay Ginang Acosta.
Kong Benny.
Magandang hapon po. Nakakagulat, nakakapagtaka na pwede palang mag-withdraw ng 125 million. Isang withdrawal sa land bank. Ano po? Kahit sinong public official, hindi pwede mag-withdraw ng ganyang kalaki. Pero alam nyo, ang nakakabahala dito ay tulad po ng baha na nangyayari ngayon. Binaha ng pera ang confidential fund. At katulad po ng baha ngayon, hindi alam kung saan ang galing, hindi alam kung saan napunta. Ang gustong malaman ng taong bayan natin ito, kanino po napunta ang 125 million na yan kung si Colonel La Chica ay hindi recipient na inamin din naman ni Gina Acosta, siya lamang ay ang taga-distribute. So what we'd like to find out sa ating taong bayan, kung kanino po ibinigay ang 125 million pesos. Doon dapat ilabas ng kampo ng Vice Presidente.
All right, we're now ready to receive your charger.
Sorry, just to wrap up the entire proceedings today, I think very important po na ilatag po natin yung punto ngayong araw nito. Hindi po ito COA witness, hindi po ito NBI witness, hindi po ito PSA witness. Ito po ay hostile witness, tao po mismo, Special Disbursement Officer ng pangalawang Pangulo po mismo. At ano po yung sinabi, mula po doon sa utos ng pangalawang Pangulo, ibinigay po ni Ms. Gina Acosta ang 125 million kay Mr. La Chica. Malinaw na malinaw po yun. Kung ang lagi po nating tanong saan napunta ang perang 125 million, binigay po ang sagot ngayong pong araw na ito, binigay kay Mr. La Chica, at hanggang sa araw po na ito, tinatanong po natin, sino ho talaga yung tumanggap ng lahat po ng perang ito. At mahalaga din po ang banggitin na si Mr. La Chica, katulad ng binabanggit, ay hindi po organic na tao ng Office of the Vice President, and therefore, wala po siyang kapangyarihan o karapatan na mag-disburse ng pong confidential funds. Ang dapat pong nagdi-disburse ng confidential funds ay mga accountable officers lamang, particular, yung pong Special Disbursement Officer, yan po yung naging batayan. Bakit nagkaroon po ng notice of disallowance for 2023? Nakasama na ho mismo si Mr. La Chica sa bagay po na ito. No? So, yun po yung inabot ngayong araw na ito. Binubukas na ho namin yung hapag para sa mga tanong.
Thank you, Congressman Terry. Joseph, you're...
Can I address my question to Attorney Jay, please? And I'd like to focus on the issue of transfer of authority. You know, kanina towards the end of the trial, there was a question whether si Colonel La Chica has become a disbursing officer or was he just a recipient? The prosecution's position, please.
Okay. I have to be careful no, with respect to what was the answer given by the witness. No? Well, I think she didn't answer it directly. No? But what is clear is that under the joint circular, there's only one SDO, and that is Acosta, and she never disputed that fact. She readily admitted it. No? And she also admitted that in the same joint circular, she is prevented from transferring custody over it to another accountable officer. No? And in relation to that, babalikan natin, anong reason behind it? Anong importansya niyan? Ang nagpaliwanag niyan, si Ms. Sailin del Campo. Dahil sinabi nga niya, hindi pwedeng kahit sino lang no, ay will act as special disbursement officer. Dapat yan through an authorization issued by the head of agency. No? At ang authorization, it was given in favor of Acosta. Pangalawa, ang SDO ay isang bonded officer. So, meron security ang gobyerno kung merong mangyari doon sa pera. Kaya mahalaga manatili na nasa kanya yung pag-control at pag-disperse ng pera. Again, these are the explanations given Ms. Eileen Del Campo.
Last na lang, sir. Last Friday, last hearing, no, si SP, he asked si Sailin, why is it important to maintain the chain of accountability? I think you mentioned in part na there's a risk, sabi nila Sailin last time. No? There's a risk na, okay, kung sa akin yan, I will know where the money will go. No? But when it's transferred to another person, mawawala yan. No? Can you elaborate on that point, please?
Yeah, that's correct. Kasi nga, ang explanation ni Sailin, dapat walang intermediary between the SDO and the final recipient. No? Ang explanation ni Sailin, what is required under the joint circular is if you're the SDO, ikaw mag-disburse niyan. No? Kaya nga ikaw sa special disbursement officer. So ikaw ang magbibigay niyan sa final recipients. Hindi pwedeng dadaan yan sa intermediary. No? So, kanina, mukhang ang naging tanong ng presiding officer sa kanya, nung binigay mo ba sa kanya yan, siya ba ay recipient, meaning the final recipient, or, I want to be careful with my words, but I don't think he used intermediary. I think he said, parang, release o tigapagbigay. No, again, I want to be accurate. I'm not sure about the words. No? But ang sinabi nga niya, hindi niya binigay as final recipient. So siguro siya yung tiga-disburse. Again, no, let's just check the actual words. But you're right, if you correlate it with the statement of Ms. Eileen, ang sinasabi ni Ms. Eileen dyan, no, dapat diretsong binibigay dun sa final recipients.
Siguro very important to make the distinction on the two possibilities no, na binabanggit as a recipient and as an authorized disbursement officer. No? Una, hindi ka pwede maging authorized disbursement officer kasi nga, very clear po yung rules. No, na wala ko naman hong delegation of authority para sa ganito pong bagay. Ibig sabihin, talaga ang final determination po niyan, yung pong SDO na nakasulat po doon sa rules po ng COA. So it cannot be given to anyone else. More importantly, because Mr. La Chica is not an OVP organic personnel. Yung VPSG po, ay it is an AFP organic entity. It is not an OVP organic entity. No? So, yun po yung una. Pero yung as a beneficiary, if that will be the argument, then the next question would be, did he actually liquidate as himself? Yung pong 125 million. But as far as we know, it is Mary Grace Piatos' name who signed those particular acknowledgement receipts. No? So, on both counts, tingin ko, hindi ho lilipad yung pong ganun pong paliwanag.
My statement would be this, no? Was it proper for the Vice President to say that? Was it appropriate for the Vice President to order the Special Disbursement Officer to give the money to a Colonel La Chica who is not an organic member of the OVP? Was it appropriate for the Vice President to do that? Was it proper for the Vice President to do it? Because siya ang impeachment officer, impeachable officer. Was it proper for her to do that? Ngayon, tanong ng taong bayan yan, proper ba ang ginawa niya? Appropriate ba ang ginawa niya? Aba, kung hindi, well, wala tayong magagawa dyan kundi the prosecution team has actually revealed and exposed that. Ayun, papasalamat ako. I was the vice chair of the Committee on Good Government, you know, when we investigated the vice president on that. And napaganda ng mga katanungan ni Congresswoman Chinky Luistro on that. Ang papasalamat ako na nagkaroon muna ng investigation ng Committee on Good Government para ito ay may lahid ng gusto sa impeachment court. Okay. Yun po ang gusto kong sabihin.
Salamat po. Haji, your turn.
Magandang hapon po, Haji Kaminyo ng Brigada News FM. First, do you expect the defense to navigate on the angle na gumamit po ng artificial intelligence or kumbaga kung saan man po na technology, yun pong inyong pag-simulate nung confidential funds na winidraw po o in-encash doon sa land bank?
Well, it's clear that there was no intention, no, from the prosecution to pretend that those were the actual funds. No? Maliwanag naman, hindi naman yan ang sinasabi na yan mismo. It was just a visual representation as to how they were produced, if you used AI or what. It's immaterial. No? Kasi nga, tinatanong nga mismo sa witness, katulad ba nito yung nakita mo na pera? Katulad ba nito yung ginamit mo na mga bags, no? Kung saan mo linagay yung pera mo. At sinabi naman niya kanina, merong mga pagkakatulad, no? And pati din dun sa mga cash, no? Yung mga bundles of cash, sinabi naman niya more or less halos pareho yung linapag sa kanya. No? Just to show gaano talaga kadami yung bulto-bultong perang pinag-uusapan natin dito na tinanggap ng Office Vice President, no? Sa pamamagitan nito ni Ms. Acosta.
Okay.
Well, ako, personally speaking, I expect the defense to do everything they can to exonerate the Vice President. Pero palagay ko, hindi AI yung pagkaano namin dito. No? Ang bigat. Ako, nabigitan ako eh. Di ba? I mean, pinapakita lang natin kung gaano katindi ang 125 million na dapat malaman ng taong bayan. Pinapakita po natin dito, how can the office of the Vice President withdraw 125 million? Saan kinuha ang authority ng bangko to withdraw such a big amount? Ngayon lang po ako nakakita ng ganong klaseng amount. Kung yan, hindi nilagay sa bags yan. Aba, kinakailangan ng hauler para ilagay sa isang sasakyan na malaki ang perang yan. Now, the question again is, okay, sinabi na po ni Congressman Diron na hindi organic itong si Colonel Chica sa OVP. Sinabi na natin na si Miss Acosta ang talagang special disbursement officer. Bakit hindi siya? What we would like to see kung kanino ibinigay yan. Sa akin, I maintain my position na yung pinagbigyan yan, ghost. Ngayon, kung hindi ghost yan, ay ipakita. Nasaan si Piatos? Nasaan si Andy Lim? Kung hindi ghost yung mga taong yan, kung hindi mga multo yan, ilabas nila rito para malaman natin. I think it would be the Vice President should come because she continues to make a mockery of Congress. Mandato namin to eh. Mandato ng Senado ito. Mandato ng Congress ito. Ibig sabihin, the office of the Vice President can make a mockery of the constitutional mandate of Congress to investigate and to put up an impeachment court. Dapat, humarap siya. Siya ang mag-explain. Huwag niyang sasabihin yan sa mga staff niya. Siya mismo, nakakaawa po yung mga staff niya nag-explain eh. Siya na mismo mag-explain. Tinatawagan ko ngayon, si Vice President, maawa ka naman sa mga staff mo. Ikaw na mismo pumunta rito, mag-explain ka. Hindi ka pwedeng magtago kung saan-saan. My goodness, humarap ka nga doon sa perjury charge kay Remil Madriaga eh. Humarap ka din doon sa charge ng kapatid mo eh. Tapos hindi ka harap sa impeachment court. My goodness naman, Vice President, humarap ka na. Maawa ka sa mga staff mo. At ipaliwanag mo sa taong bayan kung bakit hindi ka kinakailangang ma-impeach. Yan ang panawagan ko.
Okay. Last question na lang po, speaking of Ramil Madriaga. Kanina po nung dun sa nung sa questioning sa line of questions ni Attorney Ligutan patungkol dun sa sinong kasama niya, dun sa bangko, nung paglabas, ganyan. Na-expect niyo po ba or kumbaga mapo-point po ba sana na dapat si Ramil Madriaga was there or may participation siya dun sa transfer of the money or dun sa distribution po nito? Mabanggit man lang po siya ni Gina Acosta kanina.
Well, I don't think kasama naman po siya doon sa talaga po nga nangyari doon sa land bank up until pagbabalik po sa OVP. No? I think even if you check the records doon po sa House proceedings, never naman ho sinabi din ni Mr. Madriaga na kasali siya doon sa encashment and transfer. Nung po nga pera from Land Bank Shaw to the OVP. No? So I don't think he will come into play at this point. No? So yun.
Alright.
If at all, pwede siguro nating ma-compare yung mga naging statements niya kung ano naman yung mga naging statements ng mga bank managers tungkol dito. Maalala natin, for example, sabi niya, yung meron silang policy na, I'm not sure if she called this, no? Parang no-touch policy, na kapag na-transfer na yung pera, hindi na pwedeng hawakan ng kahit na sinong mga empleyado, kahit mga guard, no? Dahil daw, ibig sabihin, no, na-transfer na yung custody, nasa pangangalaga na yon, no, nung client ng bangko. So, if at all, maybe you could compare yung mga naging testimony niya kanina dun sa sinabi ng mga bank managers.
Alam mo, sa akin, I don't know kung magiging tama yung palagay ko, no? Pero palagay ko, the burden of proof is no longer on Marie Madriaga. It is now on the office of the Vice President. I'm wondering why the Vice President filed a case of perjury against Madriaga. Nung iniimbestigahan namin si Madriaga, sabi nila, hindi pwede. O sapagkat hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na tama ang sinasabi niya. Ramil Madriaga was only charged. He was not convicted. Walang desisyon ng korte na na-convict siya. He is a suspect sa crime na ginawa. And therefore, naniniwala tayo. Mga abogado natin dito naniniwala that a suspect is deemed innocent until proven guilty. When we investigated Madriaga sa committee namin, we are just asking him the questions kung present siya, kung nandun siya. Sinabi niya sa kanyang affidavit. Kinakailangan lamang tingnan yung affidavit ni Madriaga. Now, because of what Madriaga said, the burden of proof now should go to the Vice President. Tama ba? Nanawagan ako uli. Let the Vice President come and face the impeachment court. That is what we want to see.
Thank you, Haji. Kindly give the mic to one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello po, good afternoon. I'll just susugan ko lang po yung about dun sa pag-file ni VP Sara ng second perjury complaint against Ramil Madriaga. Ang sabi po nung kanyang tagapagsalita, it had to be done to ensure that Madriaga is held accountable under the law and to unmask the malicious, baseless, and desperate character of the impeachment effort against the Vice President and of those behind it. What do you make sense of the timing po nitong pagpa-file ng perjury complaint na tila coincidental dun sa pagtestigo ni Gina Acosta?
Sure, it has to be done. I mean, anybody could be able to file any kind of charges. Diba? We have the freedom to do that. Pero ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, ganito. Bakit? Ba't ngayon lang? Why is it that they have to file a perjury case against Madriaga while the impeachment court is in session? Why not before? Why not nung unang-unang nagbigay ng affidavit si Madriaga? Dapat nag-file na sila ng perjury against Madriaga. Ang tanong ko ganito, ang tanong ng taong bayan ganito, bakit ngayon lang?
Okay pa. Another po is siguro dun lang po sa angulo nung kay Ramil Madriaga, are we expecting the direct examination of Gina Acosta to further touch on Ramil Madriaga? Kasi binabalikan ko po yung supplemental affidavit niya na sinabi niya noong House Justice Committee. Meron po kasing sinasabi si Ramil Madriaga at that time na na-meet niya si Miss Gina Acosta sa DepEd kung saan allegedly nandito binigay yung mga pondo noong December 20. So, kasi kanina po, if I recall it correctly, ang sinasabi ni Acosta after ng encashment, pumunta sila sa OVP. But this is somehow not, hindi siya tugma dun sa sinasabi ni Madriaga. So, are we expecting the direct examination to further touch that line?
That is precisely the kind of question that will subject us to violation of sub judice rule if I will answer it. Because hindi pa yan napag-uusapan. Again, pwede natin pag-usapan yung mga natakal na ng witnesses natin, but yung hindi pa na talakay ng kahit na sinong testimonya, na kahit sinong testigo, were prevented from saying it.
Parang pinatayan, joke lang. Hindi, gayon, yung tanong ko na lang po siguro, kasi parang for the past few weeks, parang ang sinasabi ng prosecution, medyo fluid pa yung discussions if they will present Madriaga or not. Nasaan po yung point sa discussion na yun, kung ipe-present si Madriaga or hindi?
Well, lagi naman, every time we present a witness, lagi kami nagkakaroon ng assessment, no? Kung na-hit na ba ng targets yung current witnesses, no? Para ma-evaluate namin, kailangan pa bang i-presenta yung mga susunod na testigo. Again, just similar to what we did with respect to the article on grave threats. You remember, after we presented 3 witnesses, we made an assessment, no, and upon deliberation and decision namin, no need to present 5 or 6 more. Same yan dito. Every time no, we present a witness, meron kami laging debriefing, no, and we will discuss para makita. Dahil nga, as much as possible, gusto nating mapaiksi yung witness list natin. No? Naririnig natin yung sinasabi ng, hindi lang ng members of the Senate Impeachment Court, pati mga kababayan natin na gusto hanggat maaari, paiksiin natin itong paglilitis na to. At kaisa kami dyan, no? Pinipilit namin magawa yan, of course, without sacrificing our ability to present yung effective and strong evidence. No? So, sa ngayon, it's a continuing deliberation, no? Kung kakailanganin pa ba. Hindi lang si Madriaga. We listed several other witnesses in the pretrial order, no, as witnesses for the article on confidential funds. So, as we go along, tuloy-tuloy yung pag-assess namin, then we will let you know. So, sa ngayon, ang mga naka-identify muna, itong dalawang SDO, and if I'm not mistaken, si ano din, Ortonio, Asek Ortonio. No? So sa ngayon, yan muna yung sigurado ilalat. Papatawag natin.
Short follow-up lang po. Kasi yung sinasabi ni Prosecutor Joel Chua before, at least yung buong confidential funds ang target matapos buong August. Yung presentation ng prosecution evidence, nandun pa rin po ba tayo sa target na yun? Or do you think aabot po yung presentation ng confi funds until September?
Well, we will try to hold on to that commitment. Pero what did we see today? Kanina ho, there is a palpable gasp. Nung pong itinuro na po ni Ms. Gina Acosta ang pangalawang Pangulo na nagbigay ng instruction sa kanya para ibigay po yung 125 million kay Mr. La Chica. Ako, speaking as a lawyer, tingin ko doon pa lang tapos na yung usapan. We can basically wrap up today and proceed to the next article. Kasi doon pa lang ho, that is a clear instruction that at the highest level, sa pinakamataas po na opisina nito pong OVP, ang nagbigay po ng instruction, hindi si Ms. Acosta, hindi po Chief of Staff, kundi ang pangalawang Pangulo po mismo. Doon pa lang po, tapos na po yung usapan. Sa totoo lang. So, we will decide in the next couple of days kung yung iba pa hong mga nalalabi ng mga witnesses ay kailangan pa po ba. Pero today is a very important testimony day. Tinuro ang pangalang Pangulo ngayon pong araw na ito. Ayaw ho naming pinsalain yung pong mga ordinaryong kawani. Ang dapat pong pinapanagot, yung pinakaulo, yung pinakadulo nung pong kontrobersiya pong ito. Walang iba kundi ang pangalawang Pangulo.
Coming from a non-lawyer, no? Kasi napapagitnaan ako ng dalawang abogado, eh. No? But coming from a non-lawyer, no? I don't think there's any need for Ramil Madriaga to come to have the cross-examination. Bakit? Nag-appear na siya ron sa impeachment hearing namin eh. Alright? Nagbigay na siya ng kanyang sagot. Oo, malinaw ang sagot niya. Nagsubmit na siya ng kanyang affidavit. That should only be submitted to the impeachment court. And let the impeachment court be the one to appreciate those evidence that have been presented. Palagay ko, ako sinabi ko, sabihin ko ulit, I believe the impeachment, the prosecution team has done enough. Has done enough. And I believe that with all of the revelations given to the impeachment court, there's no doubt in my mind that the Vice President should be impeached. Why? Because the prosecution team has done enough eh. Wala namang gagawin ng depensa kundi anong gagawin nila, kundi gawin ang lahat ng magagawa nila to exonerate the Vice President. But despite that, the prosecution team already has given enough pieces of evidence to what? To warrant the impeachment of the Vice President.
Just to add quickly to that, no, yung dun sa commitment namin na tapusin to na September. But on our part, di ba, you could see, we're trying to do that. Pero madaming bagay din that are beyond our control. No? Nakita na natin anong mga nangyaring delays na dun sa pag-present kanila Attorney Wamil and kay Ms. Silene Del Campo na maliwanag, hindi nanggaling sa amin yun, no? Dahil dun sa refusal ng kabilang kampo to do it out of court, no? Yung at least comparison of documents. Nakita natin, umamin sila doon, no? Na despite the clear directive of the presiding officer to meet before the hearing last Monday, ang binibigay nila na date to do it Friday, which unavoidably led to some delays. Kanina, maalala din natin, bakit nagtagal yung pagpresenta kay Ms. Acosta, no? Nung una, curiously, hindi siya makapagsalita ng Tagalog or English. Kaya nga, we're very thankful dun sa naging observation at statement kanina ni Senator Tulfo, no? Nasabi nga niya, bakit sa Congress ang galing naman mag-English at sumagot nito, nakakasagot naman siya ng mabuti. And these are not my words, ha? Words to ni Senator Tulfo. Tigilan na natin tong panglolokong ginagawa nito sa atin. Oh? Again, bago ko masubject ng sub judice rule, no? Hindi ako yan, inulit ko lang ang sinabi ng kagalang-galang na senador. No? At makita naman talaga natin, nung plinay na itong video na to, abay napakatatas magtagalog pala. No? At after ma-call out, dire-diretso na magtagalog at mag-English. Ano? So, again, I point this out to say, bakit medyo nagtagal yung presentation niya? Yan nakita naman every time, no? Kailangan pa mag-translate. Unnecessary naman pala. So, we say this to emphasize the point na we hope no the public would also give us some leeway no and extend some patience our way na bigyan din kami pagkakataon na ipresenta ng mabuti no yung aming ebidensya. But kita naman kung nagkakaroon ng delay, hindi ho sa amin nanggagaling yan.
Okay lang po.
Yeah, go.
Pwede mag-follow up dun sa whether ipepresent ba sila chika or hindi. Mabilis lang po. Yung pagka yung judicial notice ba dun sa transcript or yung mga nangyari dun sa Committee on Justice, pwedeng yun ang mag-replace kung hindi na papasalangin si Madriaga sa witness stand. Pwedeng yun na lang kasi nasabi niya naman dun tas may transcript naman po.
Ang tulad ng pinaliwanag ng presiding officer, ang epekto lang no nung fact na the court take judicial notice of these official transcripts of record is that wala nang question na authentic talaga tong mga to. Ito talaga ang naging transcript of records, no? Ito talaga ang sinabi ng mga testigo. Pero sinabi nga ng presiding officer, hindi ito tatanggapin as truth of those statements. So, kung gusto nyong patunayan yung truth ng statements na yun, you need to call the witnesses. So to be accurate about it, no, kung ano yung naging statement ng presiding officer doon. No? But tulad kanina, we were referring to the statements made by the witness during the House of Representatives. We were using videos, transcripts of those hearings, pero hindi na kailangan isa-isa pa na i-authenticate natin, panood muna natin yung video ng buo, no, pakita kung totoo to, dahil yun ang naging epekto nung pag-grant ng court doon sa motion namin, no, to take judicial notice of these matters. Well, pwede ang gamitin, for example, to impeach a testimony of a witness. No? For example, may umupong testigo, tapos may biglang sasabihin ngayon, nakakaiba sa sinabi niya doon sa mga pagdinig sa Congress, pwedeng gamitin yon to impeach the credibility of that witness because it's a prior inconsistent statement.
Good afternoon. Mil Kirigonan, DCRH. Balikan ko lang yung sinabi kanina ni Kong Terry na parang tapos na dahil naituro yung nasabi yung pangalan ni Vice President Sara Duterte. So, could we take it to mean na tapos na tayo dito sa issue ng confidential funds at pwede na tayong mag-proceed dun sa remaining 2 articles of impeachment, which is bribery and ano yung isa? Unexplained wealth.
Well, syempre, gusto namin buuin pa yung kabuuan po ng mga testigo pa kung isasalang. Kasi, for example, si Mr. Fajarda is a entirely separate SDO, no? For a different office. At yung iba pa hong mga NBI report at yung pong PSA reports, no? Relating to yung pong mga fictitious names, no? At yung pong pagpepeke ng mga signatures, no? So, I think those are very important and relevant documents and witnesses din ho, no? Pero major yung pong pagtuturo ngayon pong araw na ito because, again, this is a hostile witness, clearly, up until today, an employee of the OVP, saying to the court and to the nation na ang pangalang Pangulo ang nagbigay ng utos na magbigay, nakita niyo mga kanina kung gaano kalaki, ng 125 million in confidential funds to Mr. La Chica.
Attorney Tolosa.
Nothing to add. Yeah. That perfectly sums it up. No, napakalakas nun dahil nga sinabi nga mismo ni Ms. Eileen Del Campo, dahil sa pag-amin na yon, naging sapat yon para i-consider na nila na clear irregularity. It's a direct violation of the joint circular and it resulted to the issuance of a notice of disallowance. No, dahil sabi nga na maliwanag na walang exemption to, linalabag nito joint circular, inuutos ng Vice Presidente. So, maliwanag yung maling nangyari. So, but just the same, para mabuong kwento, no, kaya gusto nating ilatag yung ang ebidensya.
Last question. Titignan na ako ni Roy eh. Yung demeanor lang kanina ni Acosta, Kongs and attorney, kung hindi ba siya na-call out na parang nagmamaang-maangan, tingin nyo ano, what strategy ba to ng depensa? Salamat po.
Mamunahin ko muna, hindi ko sinabi nagmamang-maangan siya. O para baka tayo malagay sa alangan. Misleading. Yan ho ang misleading.
It is not allowed.
Ano? Yan, hindi ho yan pwede. So, siguro ako, ang punto ko lang dyan, again, regardless kung anong intention doon, no, kung bakit biglang hindi siya makapagsalita ng Tagalog, di makapagsalita ng English, ano, pero after ma-call out, biglang maayos naman. Kaya naman pala magpaliwanag. Nung nakita nga natin yung video, kailan ba yung ginawa, no? 2024, biglang napakagaling, no, mag-Tagalog. So kung sadya man yan o hindi ko na papasukan yun, no, kung anong intention nila doon. Masang sa akin, mahalaga, at least nung na-call out, naging mas tuloy-tuloy na yung pag-examine sa kanya. Kung hindi, baka hindi pa tayo tapos hanggang ngayon. Ano? Kung every time na sasabihin niya, kailangan pang i-translate. Kaya naman ho pala.
Wala naman akong problema kung paano ho yung naging pag-evolve no, nung pong testimony po ni Ms. Acosta. Whether naman po nagta-translate, ably naman pong kayang gawin ni Attorney Ligutan yon and meron naman hong supposed court translator na nakuha na po si Presiding Officer Escudero. But again, minamalaki po nung prosecution yung pong, syempre paggawad po ng paggalang din. No? Dito kay Ms. Acosta. Ever since naman po the House proceedings, we had always known that she was an ordinary staff. Pangkaraniwang kawani ng Office of the Vice President. No? Ibig sabihin, it might be true na meron ho silang previous engagement in Davao and continued up until today, but I think the view still stands na hindi po ito mataas na opisyal. Hindi po ito nagpapasya, no, dito po sa paggamit po ng confidential funds. And again, like what we had stated, talaga pong nung lumapag sa kanya pong lamesa, yung pong 125 million, kaya lang po niya binigay kay Mr. La Chica po yung ganung kalaki pong pera, ay dahil sinabi ng pangalawang Pangulo na ibigay mo yan sa kanya. Hindi ba? So, tingin ko, that would show basically na wala talaga siyang real discretion over these funds. Hindi ba? Kaya, at yun yung gusto ko namin talagang tutukan, na ang talagang merong pananagutan dito, yung nag-utos ng transfer from Ms. Acosta to Mr. La Chica, wala pong iba, kundi po yung pangalawang Pangulo.
Alright. Thank you, Ma'am Milky. Kahit hindi pwede yung misleading. Pero merong motion for reconsideration, so we'll allow Joseph around 2 questions.
Sir, anybody can answer. Regarding Madriaga, I understand that he's part of the at least original list of witnesses. No? Can we just go back to the day when you decided to include him in the list of witnesses first? What did you hope to get from him in terms of value?
Well, as pointed out, he was one of the persons who spoke about this matter during the hearings before the Congress.
Specific testimony? I mean, I know the answer, but soundbite.
Well, just about how the funds were supposedly used, right? The confidential funds were supposedly used.
And will you still be calling on him? And I ask this question in the context of the perjury complaint of the Vice President.
That will not be a determining factor in our decision as to whether or not we will call him. So as we've stated, the decision to whether or not we will call him will depend on our assessment of whether we've hit our targets already, if we think the important factual matters have already been covered by the witnesses that we have put on the stand thus far.
You don't
So,
see this as a way of the Vice President to stop his testimony?
Well, she's free to file these complaints and resort to legal remedies as she may deem fit. But what we're saying is it will not affect our decision. Again, our decision will be solely based on whether his intended testimony has already been covered by the other witnesses. If we think his statement would still be essential for us to prove our case, then we'll put him on the stand. But if not, we would not waste any more time on him. And this does not apply with respect to Madriaga. This applies to all of the other witnesses that we've listed as potential witnesses. So same goes for the other names that I've heard a while ago, like La Chica, or Tonyo, sorry, not Tonyo, Nolasco, who've also been named as potential witnesses by the prosecution.
Thank you. My apologies to Rosalie. You go ahead and then Dwight.
Di abot.
Di ba, Bot?
Good afternoon po, sirs. Tatanong ko lang... I'm so sorry, dalawa. Ayan. Good afternoon po, sirs. Following po yung testimony po ni Miss Gina Acosta na si Vice President nga po yung nag-direct sa kanya na i-release yung funds kay Colonel La Chica, when is the best time for the Vice President to confirm this? Or when is the best time for her to be subpoenaed?
I don't think she has to be subpoenaed to prove it. Kasi yan na ho talaga yun eh. Tinuro na ho eh. Kumbaga, whether she will confirm it or not, it is for the defense to actually make, no? Pero I think as far as we're concerned, we are convinced at what an ordinary employee actually said today. Tingin ko naman very direct, parang hindi naman siya subject to any pressure when she made that statement. More importantly, that is the same statement that she had stated in the House proceedings. Hindi ba inudit lang po niya in a different proceeding, no? So if the Vice President would want to clarify it, they can clarify it when they present their defense.
But for the prosecution, there's no need for her to confirm if she indeed direct her special disbursing officer.
Siya pong bahala dun. We'll let the Vice President make that confirmation, whether in court or out of court.
And then, yun pong binanggit ni Miss Gina Acosta na wala siyang alam sa confidential operations at inutusan siya ni VP Duterte na i-release sa security officer yung funds, is that action justified?
Well, unacceptable po yung ganung paliwanag kasi very specific po yung role ng SDO sa paggamit po ng confidential funds. Ang totoo, ang pinagtataka ho namin, why did the Vice President actually appoint someone na parang hindi ho masyadong maunawaan po yung mga ilang mga partikularidad dito po sa implementation po ng confidential funds. Kasi I think they have a entire staff complement naman po na pwede ho talaga nilang i-hire para po dito. But they let Ms. Gina Acosta be the SDO for this, no? So I think gagawin na lang naman ho yung trabaho nila. Sana ginawa na lang ho nila ng tama. At kung ginawa nila ho yun ng tama, I think she would know, or the Vice President would know, na hindi ho dapat linipat yung 125 million in cold cash sa isang tao na hindi po tao talaga ng OVP.
Alright. Dwight?
One question lang po sa prosecutors po. Kasi yun nga po, hindi naman po ito yung unang pagkakataon na binanggit ni Acosta that the order came from the Vice President herself because she already did so in the November Good Government Committee hearing by the House. So siguro pa-articulate lang po, what is different this time? Gaano kabigat na binanggit niya ulit itong claim na ito ngayon, na in-implicate niya ulit ang Vice President sa ganitong pagkakataon, sa ganitong platform?
Well, that was made a year and a half ago. No? So kung nagkamali siya dun sa sinabi niya, she had plenty of time already to think about it and then correct her statement. I'm sure nakausap na din yung Vice Presidente dyan, na kanyang boss. Ano? So kung gusto niyang palitan ng statement niya, nagawa na niya yan. Pero inulit niya ulit ito in open court, no, in this impeachment proceedings. So again, wala nang question dun sa pag-amin niya na diretsahan siyang inutusan ng Vice Presidente na ibigay ang pera na ito kay Colonel Chica, no, na kahit na maliwanag dun sa joint circular na hindi niya pwedeng gawin to dahil siya dapat ang tigahawak as SDO. At hindi lang to isang statement na sinabi niya, inutusan ako, binigay, kaya ako binigay, no? Ang dami pa niyang related statements na nagpapatibay na ito talaga nangyari. Tulad ng narinig natin kanina, tinatanong siya, tama ba na hindi mo to ibibigay kay Colonel Chica kung hindi ka inutusan ng Vice Presidente? Sagot, oo. No? Nagtiwala ka kay Colonel Chica dahil, sabi niya, dahil pinagkakatiwalaan siya ng Vice Presidente at sinabihan siya na ibigay nga ang pera na ito, itong kabuuan ng pera na ito, maliwan na importante din niya, hindi lang parte, no? O magpagkakagastos siya, which we're not saying is correct, no? But just to emphasize the magnitude of what was done, yung buong na-withdraw, pagkakuha, tumatawag na siya kagad kay Colonel Chica para sabing hawak na niyang pera at pagkatapos na ibinigay dahil utos ng Vice Presidente. So gaano kabigat? That determination falls within the discretion of the impeachment court. But para sa amin, you have to correlate it again with the statements of Ms. Zailin del Campo, who said it is because of this admission that led her to conclude that there's a clear violation of the joint circular and hence issuance of a notice of disallowance was warranted.
Dalawang bagay lang po. No? Siyempre, una, mahalaga po ito at tingin ko mas mahalaga. Kasi yung pong testimonya ni Ms. Acosta is subject to cross-examination. No? So, ibig sabihin, kung ano man po yung magiging resulta po nito, ay titignan po natin bilang paglalahad po ng aktual na katotohanan dahil na subject po ito to cross. Yun po yung una. Pero pangalawa, syempre kaibahan doon sa Good Government Committee, yung pong Good Government Committee may recommendation lang po yun whether to file whichever cases against a particular public official. No? Pero ito po kasi, this is an impeachment trial already. Ang pinag-uusapan na ho natin dito, mako-convict ba o hindi ang pangalawang Pangulo on the very basis of what Ms. Acosta said. No? So, tingin ko yun po yung bigat nito pong muling paglalahad na ito ni Ms. Acosta sa paglilitis.
Sir, good afternoon po. Ann Soberano po of Bombo Radio. Sir, lumabas ngayon sa paglilitis na si Colonel Chica po, who is behind the OBP physical and financial plan based po sa testimony ni Gina Acosta. Sa tingin niyo, sir, si Chica bilang ginawang bagman dahil pinagkakatiwalaan siya ni BP Sara at malakas ba yung sabwatan ng dalawa?
Mahirap sagutin yan tanong na yan. Anyway, alam mo, inimbestigahan na yan eh. Nasabi nga ni Congressman Ridon na yung Committee on Good Government, parang ano lang yan, investigating agency lang yan para malaman ang katotohanan. So, it is up to the impeachment court kung anong gagawin nila eh. It is up to the senator judges upon their appreciation of the evidence. Pero itong gusto sabihin ko na, bilang siguro non-lawyer na nag-observe sa proceeding at endorser ng fourth impeachment complaint, dapat tapusin na ito. By November, dapat tapos na ito. Why? My goodness, we are spending a lot of money on this. And this is a people's money. Milyon ang ginagastos dito. Dapat malaman niya ng depensa. Oo. Una silang magbigay pa kung ano-ano. Kung ano man ang gusto nila. Oo. We are spending a lot of the people's money here. It might be not only a waste of time, very tiring na, very taxing na nangyayari dito. Even the very people, sinasabi na nila sa labas eh, nakakapagod na rin panoorin to. See? Dapat, magkaroon na po tayo ng closure dito. Bakit? Because we have already, the prosecution team has already done their part in collating the piece of evidence to actually to convict the Vice President. So ito why, sa akin, dapat talaga hindi na tumagal itong mga bagay na ito. Ihinto na natin to. Marami pang dapat pag-usapan ng Congress. Yung flood control projects, yung budget, yung pang mga batas na dapat namin gawin. You see that? Can you imagine, ito sabihin ko sa taong bayan natin, can you imagine the millions of pesos that we are spending out of the people's money dito sa impeachment na ito? Pagka minsan nakakatawa na nakakatawa na, nakakapagtaka na. So, sa akin, ihinto na natin dapat to eh.
Another lang po. Kuha lang po ako ng reaction ninyo. May mga nagsilabasan po kasi na information sa social media nitong weekend na si BP Sara po daw ay humihingi ng private meeting kay Pangulong Marcos. Pero tinanggi po ng Malacanang, sabi ng Malacanang wala silang information. Ano po yung pananaw ninyo dito? Bakit may mga ganitong naratibo? Lalo at ongoing pa po yung impeachment trial.
Tingin ko nagsalita naman na po yung palasyo tungkol dito na wala pong katotohanan. Tingin ko we can move on from that, no? Kasi syempre, ang focus naman po ng prosecution talaga ay ilitisin ang pangalang Pangulo hanggang pinakadulo. No? So, kung meron pong mga other effects or consequences, ito pong mga bawat araw na itinatakbo po ng paglilitis, no? We will leave it to them. No? Pero kami we are focused solely on presenting the evidence until the very end.
If I could just add quickly sa first question mo. No? Again, kung bakit siyang pinagbigyan, no? But I think siguro kasama dun sa determination na gagawin ng senator judges, no? Sa pag-appreciate nila dun sa narinig nilang testimonya, ay tinatanong mo nga, ano ba ang tiwala niya sa tao na to? No? Bakit sa kanya binigay ito? Magandang tignan din dyan is, again, yung sinabi niya, pagka-withdraw ng pera ay pinabigay sa kanya 125 million. Hindi bawat merong paggastos, no? And we're not saying that it's right, no? Pero hindi man lang bawat may paggastos, ibigay kay Colonel Chica, hindi. No? Linipat na sa kanya buo kaagad itong 125 million the moment that it was encashed. So I'm sure kasama din yan, no, na consider na impeachment court, no, pag kung titignan yung angulo na yan, no, bakit binigay itong pera sa kanya, sino ba itong tao na to? And again, we understand, no, the sentiment of the people that we want to wrap this up as soon as possible. And again, our efforts are clear that we're trying to do that. But of course, this is still a very important constitutional accountability mechanism. So kailangan natin pa ring tuloy-tuloy, no, na siguraduhin na gumulong itong proseso na to at patuloy na exert all efforts para mailatag namin ng mabuti ang ebidensya namin dito para kung nung sa ngayon, no, kapag oras na para of course after din magpresenta ng ebidensya ng kabila kung meron man, no, pagkatapos niyan makapaghatol ng mabuti ang mga senator judges na nakabatay doon sa ebidensya na ilalapag ng magkabilang panig at ng nanaayon sa batas, ano.
Good afternoon po. Sir, after 16 days of no show, the world is watching, the nation is waiting for the moment of truth coming from BP Duterte under oath, and not on social media alone. Are you still hopeful she will attend the trial?
Well, I think kada linggo naman po meron ho tayong bibilang, no? Kung ilang linggo na at ilang araw na po ng paglilitis ang hindi po sinisipot ng atin pong pangalawang Pangulo. I think nabanggit na po ni Congressman Abante kanina yung pong mga dahilan bakit po kailangan magpakita. Tingin ko sa araw na ito at sa linggo pong ito, maraming dahilan para magpakita, harapin yung pong paglilitis, lalo't higit yung pong usapin po ng maling paggamit ng confidential funds, hakbang-hakbang, dokumento per dokumento na hong nailalantad sa bayan. Mahalagang narito po siya para harapin po ito. Totoo, yung binabanggit din, sa dulot-dulo siya ho yung magpapasya kung magpapakita dito o hindi. Pero nagpakita rin nga ho siya sa Davao eh. Nitong nakaraan para puntahan po yung kaso ng kapatid niya. Tingin ko, ito po yung mas mahalagang kaso na dapat hong harapin dahil siya na po yung nakataya rito. Yung pong maling paggamit na po ng pondo ng bayan ang pinag-uusapan po rito.
Alright?
Ito siguro pwede ko rin sabihin to, no, bilang bishop, no. Mukhang pati ang Diyos nagagalit na rito. Inaalaw niya na yung baha eh. Baha na sa buong Luzon. Anong ginagawa ng ating Vice President? Nagpupunta sa iba't ibang bansa. Just imagine meron tayong impeachment court dito. Dapat humarap siya. Saan siya? Nasaan siya ngayon? Gusto kong tanungin, nasaan ba siya ngayon? Meron akong nakita na video. Sumasayaw pa siya eh. Nasaan ba siya ngayon? Yun ang tanong natin, nasaan ngayon ang Vice President? Madam Vice President, bumabaha na. Nagagalit na ang Diyos. Pati ang taong bayan napapagod na rin. At gumagastos tayo ng milyon-milyong buwis dito na binibigay ng mga Pilipino. Humarap ka na. Humarap ka na para matapos na ito.
Forgive my impression. Tama ba yung impression ko na parang, okay, you have talks of trying to decide whether your original witnesses will still be presented, number one. And then we hear Congressman Benny saying, this is a waste of time coming from an endorser, no? Hindi ba kayo nagmamadali? And bakit parang, has this something to do with talks of, what I'm referring to? This vivendi between the President and the Vice President?
No, I don't think so. I think it is the objective of the prosecution to expedite the proceedings at matapos na po itong paglilitis na ito, makapagpresenta ng depensa rin at makapagdesisyon ang Senate Impeachment Court in the soonest time. No? So, our implementation of the strategy and witness presentation is unaffected by external or extraneous factors. No? So, Meron pong mga contending views, no? Na even if she actually resigns, dapat magpatuloy pa rin po yung paglilitis dahil dapat pagpasyahan po yung perpetual disqualification from holding public office. No? But it is something that ultimately the Senate Impeachment Court will decide on.
Alright. Salamat po sa ating mga panauhin ngayon. Si Attorney Jay Tolosa, Kong Benny Abante, si Congressman Terry Redon para sa kanilang mga paliwanag. Pero hindi pa dyan po nagtatapos ang ating panayam dahil gusto po namin i-sum up yung pangyayari ngayong hapon through a PowerPoint presentation na i-present po sa atin ni Attorney Hes Montalan. Bigyan po natin ng konting pagkakataon na makapag-set up para lang po maipaliwanag ang mahalagang pangyayari ngayong hapon na ito.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Pasensya na, alam ko bumabagyo sa labas, so tatry kong bilisan lang to, okay? So, ang impeachment trials today, this is day 15, if I'm not mistaken. So, next slide please. So, ano ang pinaka-importanting takeaway for today? This is the direct instruction that came from the Vice President herself na ibigay ang pera, ang 125 million from Acosta to La Chica. Tapos meron po ditong nagkaroon na role mismatch. Acosta acknowledged that spending confidential funds was not part of a security officer's job, which is a direct violation of Joint Circular 2015-01. And meron pong inputs from La Chica. Sabi po ni Acosta na si La Chica ang nag-supply ng inputs at guidelines used in the financial and expenditure documentation. Hindi rin po na-disclose sa COA. Sabi ni Acosta na ang dokumentong sinumite sa COA did not state that La Chica was the source of those inputs. VP approved PFP, or Physical Financial Plan. Acosta confirmed that the Vice President approved the broad physical and financial plan as written. So, ang biggest development, like what I mentioned, who gave the instruction? Ang Vice Presidente po ang nag-order na i-release ang 125 million in cash to La Chica, which is in direct violation of JC 2015-01. So makikita po natin sa flowchart na ito kung paano po nangyari yun. Sabi po ni VP Sara na nagbigay po siya ng instruction kay Gina Acosta na ibigay ang 125 million in cash to Colonel R.D. La Chica. Si Gina Acosta po ang nahawa ko kay Attorney LPK. Ang Special Disbursing Officer po na under Joint Circular 2015-01, siya lamang dapat ang mag-disburse ng pera. Next slide, please. So, the physical chain, 125 million and 4 travel bags. Ang testimonya ngayon ay naglagay ng concrete physical picture around the transaction. Una, may withdrawal na naganap that's worth 125 million. Pangalawa, merong 4 na gym bags. Kung meron pong nag-gym sa inyo dito, siguro makikita nyo kung gaano po kalaki ang gym bag, no? Tapos kung lagyan nyo ng, let's say, around 25 to 30 million each, ang bigat nun. Pangatlo, ang extension office. The cash taken to Acosta's extension office. Pang-apat, merong tawag kay La Chica. La Chica was informed that the money was ready, which is, as I repeat, dapat na kay SDO Acosta lang. And panglima, meron pong turnover na naganap. Ito po yung pinaka-importante dito. Si Acosta ay nagsabi na she was instructed to release it to La Chica. At kanino nanggaling ang instruction? Sa Vice Presidente. The accountability question, why was the cash with the security officer? Bakit ang pera ay nasa mere security officer lang? On paper, si Gina Acosta ay ang designated Special Disbursing Officer or Accountable Officer. She acknowledged that preparation of the PFP was her responsibility. Pero in practice, or kung anong nangyari, si Colonel La Chica, ang security officer, ang nakatanggap ng pera at nagsupply ng implementation inputs. When asked if spending confidential funds was part of a security officer's job, Acosta answered, "Hindi po, Your Honor." So what is the core question here? If La Chica was not the SDO, why was the 125 million in cash turned over to him. Again, in direct violation of JC 2015-01. Next slide. So, what is the difference between the court testimony and the documents that were submitted to COA? One of the morning's strongest documentary moments was the contrast between what Acosta said in court and what she said that the records had disclosed. In court, Acosta said that La Chica supplied inputs and guidelines. Sabi po ni Acosta na she incorporated his explanations when preparing financial and expenditure documentation. Pero, ang nakalagay sa COA documents ay, sinabi ni COA, sinabi ni Acosta, wala po. According to her testimony, accomplishment reports, plans, liquidation reports, and certifications did not disclose that La Chica was the source of the inputs. Why does this matter? The court may scrutinize how the expenditures were documented and audited. So, the 125 million plan existed without specific breakdowns. What the 2022 Physical Financial Plan did not specify. 1, kung ilan ang service operations na naganap. 2, kung saan naganap ito or yung specific locations. 3, individual costs, kung gaano karaming pera ang na-expend para dito. Pang-4, actual numerical targets. And 5th, percentage of activities expected without security incidents. What is the approval link? VP Sara Duterte approved the PFP. Acosta answered, Opo, when asked whether the approval included the generic descriptions in the plan. Next slide, please. Acosta merely relied on La Chica's reports for liquidation. The testimony described a division between formal accountability and implementation information. Acosta, as the accountable disbursing officer on paper, gave the cash and authority to La Chica, who was the person on the ground providing reports and inputs. Acosta also said that she accepted all of La Chica's reports. So, what are the 5 evidentiary developments that we should remember or to carry forward today? 1, the Vice President was identified as the instruction source. Sa kanya mismo nanggaling ang utos na ibigay ang 125 million kay La Chica. Pangalawa, si La Chica ay outside ng SDO role. Sabi po ni Acosta na in-acknowledge niya that spending confidential funds was not a security officer's job. Pangatlo, La Chica supplied expenditure inputs. Acosta said she used his inputs and guidelines in preparing documentation. 4, COA records did not disclose that setup. Acosta said that the documents submitted to COA did not state La Chica was the input source. And 5, VP approved the broad PFP. Acosta confirmed the Vice President approved the PFP with broad program descriptions and unspecified numerical targets. So, what is the evidentiary chain that had been established today? 1, VP Sara approved the PFP. Next, Acosta is the designated SDO or accountable officer who should have care and custody of the 125 million. 3, the 125 million was withdrawn in cash. 4, cash is placed in 4 travel bags. 5, Acosta says VP Sara instructed the release to La Chica. 6, La Chica receives the 125 million. 7, La Chica supplies expenditure inputs and reports. 8, Acosta uses those inputs in financial and liquidation documentation. And lastly, Acosta says that COA documents did not disclose La Chica as the input source. So what is the next question for the court? What does this chain prove? And makikita po natin tomorrow yun sa hearing. Maraming salamat po, everyone. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po ulit, Attorney Hes Mondalan. Salamat po for providing us with the key points and key factors that transpired during today's hearing. Sa ating pong lahat, maraming salamat, magandang hapon, ingat po tayo sa ating pag-uusap.